Welcome to the first workshop in how to use Quantum GIS. You'll need to have the practical handout with you and work through the practical handout, as this will have a lot more detail than we'll have in the podcast. When you first start Quantum GIS software, you should get something that looks like this, although it may vary a little depending on how Quantum GIS has been configured or how it looked when it was last closed. In other words, you might not have as many icons as you can see here. However, don't worry, the handout will tell you how to access all the necessary functions. So the first thing we're going to do is to add some data. So what we need to do is click on this button here, the Add Vector Data button. And it brings up the dialog box here. Click on Browse, and then go to where the data is stored for, in this case, Practical 1. Now there's 3 different files we're going to add to the software: cities, counties and motorways. If you click on them and hold the Control button down at the same time, click Open, and then click Open again. You'll come up with a dialog box which says Coordinate Reference System Selector. This basically allows you to tell the software which coordinate system you want the data to be projected in. We want to use WGS84, which should be selected by default at the top. If you click OK, then you click OK again for the next file, and finally click OK again for the final file. And what happens is the 3 data sets should appear on the left-hand side in what we call a table of contents, and the actual maps themselves should appear on the right-hand side in the view. Now, the order in which the files are in the table of contents are the order in which they are displayed in the view. So cities are displayed first, followed by counties, and then motorways, in my case. Now, because counties are displayed after cities, it means the counties layer obscures the cities layer. So what we want to do is we want to reorganize some of the layers so they display properly in the view. So we want to bring the counties layers down, which you do just by selecting and dragging, and you want the cities layers to be at the top. And you should see the cities layer now appearing on the map. You've got these 3 little crosses beside each of the layers. This switches on and off the layer in the view. So if you to unselect counties, the counties layer disappears in the view and appears again. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to explore the map in more detail using the zoom in and zoom out and pan buttons, which you'll find on your toolbar. They're these buttons here. So the first thing we're going to do is zoom into the map. We do that by clicking on the icon of the magnifying glass with the plus sign. We can then just click anywhere on the map and we can zoom in. If we want to zoom into a particular area, we can drag a box round by clicking on the left-hand button of the mouse and then releasing. If you want to zoom out, you simply click on the icon of the magnifying glass with the minus sign, and then you click on the map again, and you can zoom out, and again you can zoom out of an area by drawing a little box. If for some reason you get lost, quite easily done, and you don't know where you are, you can get straight back to the start by clicking on this button here, which is Zoom Full. If you click on that button, you come back to where you finished off. If you want to move around the map without zooming in or out, use the hand or pan button. If you want to go to the previous view, click on this button here, the Zoom Last. You can use the map view to identify and select specific pieces of information held in each map layer. For instance, you may want to discover everything that is stored in the counties layer about a county of your choice. So first of all, select counties in the table of contents. Then on the toolbar, select identify features. Then select or click on a county of your choice. The county should become highlighted in red on the map, and a results table should appear that summarises all the data we have about that county held in the counties layer. So in this case, we've got its area, we've got the name, my examples differed, the population, which is 351, 500 people, and the population density. Explore the attribute data for some other counties. You may want to look at the attributes held about a specific county, such as Lancashire. If you're not sure which county Lancashire is, you could search for it using the attribute data table associated with the county's map layer. So, first of all, select the counties layer in the table of contents, and then right-click on the mouse, and in the pop-up menu, select Open Attribute Table. This should open up the table associated with the counties layer. In the table, we have 5 columns: ID, name, area, population, and pop-den. This is all the information that appeared previously when you used the Identify button. Each row in a table is a county on the map. To look for Lancashire, in the Look For box, type Lancashire, and then change the In box to Name. So we're going to look in the Name column for the word Lancashire. Click on Search, and then scroll down the table, and Lancashire should be highlighted. If you look at the map, it's also highlighted in the map because the table and the map are linked. You can move the selected row to the top of the table by clicking on the Move Selection to Top button. That's quite useful if you've selected several rows. The numbers in the top of the table show you how many rows have been selected out of the total number of rows in the table. In this case, 1 out of 65, because we've only selected one row out of the total number of 65 rows in the table. We can unselect this row by clicking on the Unselect button at the bottom of the table. We can manually select rows by clicking on the row number at the side of the table. We can select more than one by clicking down on the Control button on the keyboard. And as you can see in the right hand side, the different counties are appearing highlighted on the map. If we just want to display the highlighted rows in the table, we can click on Show Selected Only at the bottom of the table, and this will make the table smaller and easier to manage. If you want to show all the records again, just unclick Show Selected Only. Again, we can move the selected records to the top of the table, and we can unselect all as well. Close the table by clicking on the top right Close button. We are now going to map some data. So what we want to do first of all is undisplay motorways and cities by unchecking the motorways and cities display button and just leave the counties. Now we want to produce a map of population density for the counties. We do this by right-clicking on the mouse and selecting Properties from the pull-down menu. Make sure that the Style tab has been selected, and this allows you to change the look and feel of the map. If you click on the Change button, it brings up the symbol properties, and we can change some of the properties of the map. So we can change the colour, for instance. At the moment it's this turquoise colour. Click on the Change button and we can choose a colour from the palette, such as red. Click OK, click OK again, and then Apply, and the map turns red. We can also change the fill style. At the moment it's a solid red colour, but we can change it to a variety of different styles, such as diagonal. Click OK, Apply. To map population density, we have to change from single symbol, in other words, a red hash colour, to a graduated colour. In the column box, we want to tell the software what variable we want to map. In this case, population density. We have to decide how many different colours we want on the map. We're going to keep it as 5, so 5 classes. And the mode, we want to make quantile. Click Classify at the bottom, and then click OK. And we should have what's called a choropleth map, where the darker the colour, the higher the population density. If you want to see the legend, we have to click on this little plus box next to the counties layer, and that will bring up the legend for you, and that gives you an idea of what the different colours mean on the map. Once you've done this, we've come to the end of this practical. You can save your practical by clicking on the file in the menu bar and then clicking on Save Project As, and then save it in Practical 1 and just call it something like Prac 1. And there we go, we're finished.